Hello and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Scoop for today, Friday, the 21st of February. I do very much apologise for those of you that are tuning in. You didn't hear the little introduction thing that we usually have. I am at home at the moment, as you can tell. So that is the one thing that I've not managed to put in this morning because I completely forgot about it. But yes, as you can see, my setup is slightly different today, and you can see that Luke is most certainly in the correct setup. So good morning, Luke. How are you doing, pal?
Hello. Yeah, not bad, thanks. I'm just making sure that I'm, centered actually, because I've got me on the screen, but I'm about 3 seconds behind, so I need to move in a certain direction, see whether screen me correlates in the right way.
Well,
Yeah, I think that's right.
we can see. I can see you
Little shuffle.
perfectly. That means everybody else can see you perfectly. Do you know what I mean? There's no
Right,
messing about
maybe.
there, mate.
It's just that not being centered. You know what I mean? It'll
Yeah.
irritate people like Pirate, who's mentioned it before in the past. So
It kicks
I
off
need to
about
get it right.
anything.
Exactly.
But yeah, as you can tell, this is my setup is slightly different from Graham's. Mine's, shall we say, a lot shitter. Mine's literally in the very corner of the bedroom, so I've got stacks of games to the side of me here and my TV behind me, as well as our Buster on the wall over there. So do feel free to get to know him. But yes, this is this is the video games podcast. UK's number one video game podcast, I might add, and it's called The Scoop. We go live every single weekday at 10 a.m. to give you all the news that we think that you need to know. So we correlate it all in the morning, we put it all into one little package, and you can digest this wherever you are, whether you're on the train, whether you're on the car, whether you're walking the dog when it's pissing it down, or you're hacking your way around a golf course. Either way, you'll be able to get this on demand in your ears. And I hear you, where can you find them? Luke, would you be able to tell them?
I can tell them, yeah, you can find them on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify.
Oh, that's fantastic. 4 different ways. But then, what about if I wanted to watch this later on, mate? Where can I find both of these as a video podcast?
Well, I mean, you can go on YouTube, of course, probably about an hour or so after, right?
Yep,
After
yep,
it's
yep, yep.
been streamed, and you can watch it on demand on YouTube. Of course, you can also watch it on Twitch for a little while afterwards as well.
Absolutely perfect. So there are many ways that you can digest this, however you want. Whether you want to see our lovely faces, the 2 different places that we're in, or you're out and about and you want to listen to it on your phone or whatever portable device that you use. So yes, we have got 4 news articles today. There is quite a, it's a mixed bag, shall we say. There's a few things that we've covered before, and there's one brand new thing. Sorry, 2 brand new things that we are yet to cover. So, in the interest of fairness, I'll go first. And then Luke, you can take the second one. How does that sound?
That sounds great. That sounds fair.
Fantabby does it. Right, I've got a setup here. Right, so I've got hotkeys. I can't remember which one does what. So we'll see whether or not this
Brace
actually
yourself.
works. We'll find out together.
Let's make sure this goes to the right screen. Isn't going to embarrass Bibby with something horrible.
Oh, thank God for that. Yeah, no, nothing horrible. Oh, so I've already given away what the news stories are. If you're very, you can see the top of the screen. But anyway, our first story is on Polygon today, and it's been written by Michael McWhertor, and it states that PlayStation, Oculus, and Facebook Gaming pull out of the GDC over the coronavirus concerns. So we mentioned this yesterday, saying that PlayStation have no longer been at PAX East. I'm sure it's PAX East. Yeah, it's PAX East. The 27th to the 1st. They've already pulled out of that, and they are now not going to GDC, as well as some other big hitters. Just to go back to the chat first of all, Spike says, "Hello, is it okay, baby? We've already seen your midget porn stash." It's very broad.
I thought it's more granny porn you're into.
Oh,
Bibby.
dead right, yeah.
Mixed messages.
Well, go into my drawer, mate. You'll see
Yeah.
a couple of DVDs in there. But anyway, swiftly moving on. I'm not sweeping this under the carpet by any stretch of the imagination, but the annual game developer gathering affected by COVID-19. That's such a cooler name than the coronavirus. Why don't they just continue to call it that?
I know, yeah.
I mean, when I say
Yeah,
cooler name, it's like it's still a deadly disease. I'm saying, oh, just call it that. It's so much more cooler than coronavirus.
Exactly, but at least if you're going to be ill, you're going to be ill in style. You know what I mean?
I'd say that's the right way to go about it. Anyway, Sony's PlayStation team and Facebook, including Oculus VR, have withdrawn from this year's Game Developers Conference, citing health concerns surrounding the novel coronavirus COVID-19. How many other COVIDs has there been? Do you know what I mean? There's clearly been 18 beforehand. Out of concern for health and safety of our employees, our dev partners, and the GDC community, Facebook will not be attending this year's Game Developer Conference due to the evolving public health risks related to COVID-19. A Facebook spokesperson said in a statement emailed to Polygon. Sorry, I sniffed up a little bit this time. That's really
Nice.
weird. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Oh yeah.
It's bad, that, isn't it? Like, I genuinely think I'm getting a cold. Anyway, a Facebook spokesperson said that a statement emailed to Polygon. I've just read that. We still plan to share this exciting announcements we had planned for the show through videos, online Q&As, and more. We will be able to plan and host GDC partner meetings remotely in the coming weeks. Facebook Gaming and Oculus plan to have both booths and employees at GDC 2020, which will be held on March 16th and 20th in San Francisco. Sony Interactive Entertainment will also not attend, according to a statement received by GamingIndustry.biz. It's basically a statement that we read yesterday saying that they've got concerns about it, so I won't go into that bit again. Sony announced on Wednesday it was also pulling out of PAX East over concerns regarding the novel coronavirus. That consumer-focused event will be held in Boston from February 27th to March 1st, which is next week. Organisers for the Game Developers Conference published a statement on Thursday saying that they will be preparing for the event with attendees' safety in mind and planned for additional health security measures. We believe that based in the strict US quarantine around coronavirus and a large number of enhanced on-site measures, we are able to execute a safe and successful event for our community, the GDC team said. Locally, the Department of Health for both the state of California and the city of San Francisco support the governing public events. The statement continued, Jesus Christ. We are also continuing to follow the latest GDC and WHO guidance. Following the footsteps of other large international events, we are taking place successfully at the Moscow Center. The current coronavirus outbreak originated in Wuhan City, China in late 2019. Originally thought to be pneumonia, the novel coronavirus spread with the region of the Chinese government is restricting travel in the affected area in the effort to contain the virus. According to Vox, the virus has already infected more than 75,000 people in 2 months. Of them, 2,130 have died. Concerns over the virus have been led to the cancellation or postponement of some esports events in China and have affected the development of some games being worked on in the region. So, it's another massive statement. I don't think there's going to be any kind of conferences for the next 2 months, 3 months. No one wants to be able to, potentially put their reputation and other people's lives on the line when it comes to stuff like this. So it'll be very interesting to see where we end up with it.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe a small part of them also is like it's a good excuse to not have to do that now. Can't be asked.
Yeah. Well, that's essentially another thing as well. Obviously, they do have their consumers' lives firsthand. That's essentially what they don't want their reputation and people's lives to perish in an instant. However, if any of these had anything up their sleeve, this is a very good excuse for them not to be going to it if they don't want to show their hands too soon. Now that's a very outward way of thinking about it, but you've got to make assumptions to try and sell whatever you're trying to sell. So we're trying to sell this podcast, so we're going to say it's because of that. No, I'm only joking. Obviously, people's lives come first, and they don't want to be the people that potentially caused an outbreak of COVID-19. The cool name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And rest assured, by the way, to our listeners, you cannot, as far as we're aware, catch the coronavirus from the scoop, from listening to the scoop. So feel free to keep on listening.
Yeah, so you got me, just gozzing everywhere, you coughing all over the gaff.
I know, it's going to be a lot of that. I'm sorry in advance.
Hey, you don't have to apologise to me. Enix says, why is that cat staring at me? It's because it doesn't like you, mate. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't want anything to do with you, so it's just watching out for you. Harbuster on the wall there, he's doing bits. Next to a bottle of Budweiser. So Budweiser, if you are listening to this and you want a new sponsor coming into 2020, then do feel free to hit us up. I would love not to be able to create a Budweiser again in my life. Enix says both his cats are prettier. Doubt that. My baby girls are probably on Samantha's pillow somewhere. Yeah,
I mean, feel free to send in pictures of your cat. Enix, and we can judge, and maybe put up a poll, a really brutal poll.
Yeah,
one cat will win, one cat will lose.
As long as it's not a fight to the death, because I'm not arsed. I don't want my cat to die anytime soon.
No,
But yeah,
not
it's the big news of today is PlayStation, Oculus, and Facebook Gaming pull out of GDC over COVID-19 concerns. It's probably the right thing to do at this point, as it mentioned in the article. I'm not sure where the death toll is predominantly based. I imagine it's in China. I imagine there will be people who have unfortunately lost their lives around the world because of this. But I do think trying to quarantine the entire country is probably a good idea. And the fact that this is a global event, kind of don't want people coming to it, just potentially to spread. I mean, we talked, me and Connor talked about it yesterday. Have you seen 28 Days Later or 28 Weeks Later?
You know what? I get mixed up with that in a load of very similar disaster films. But I don't think I've seen that one actually.
Yeah.
No.
So the premise of 28 Days Later is that they inject. I mean, anyone who was in there yesterday would have already known this, but if you are listening to this for the first time, I'll go through it very briefly if you haven't seen it. So in 28 Days Later, they're doing experiments on monkeys, and they inject them with a rage virus, which obviously makes them very angry. Anyway, a load of freedom fighters and animal rights activists come in to try and get the animals out of the cage whilst being infected with rage. They end up attacking the humans. The humans then turn into raging zombie-like people. They then leave the laboratory, go out into the wild, start biting people there. They go home to the families. They bite the families, and it just spreads out from there. 28 weeks later, however, all this is happening in the UK. Like, it's not anywhere else in the world. We're just like on an island where nobody. It's like you're not allowed. It's quarantined. You're not allowed anywhere close to it. The end of the second one, the kid gets infected, and then they end up getting a plane over to France. That's when it starts to spread from France all around to Germany and Portugal and all that other stuff around it. So I don't think it's as bad as that, but potentially with it being a virus, it can spread quite easy, and you don't want to affect the world.
I mean, completely agree that obviously all precautions to be taken, and this is the right decision. But it probably is technically like it's being overly cautious, you could say.
Yeah.
I mean, probably would be fine. But still, you know, you don't, like you were saying as well. There is a bit of a more cynical sort of like brand sort of element to this as well. You don't want to be the guys who helped spread this in any way.
But I mean, how would you even screen this anyway? I mean, it's something that I mentioned to Connor yesterday. If you've been to many events, and you will be advised to take hand sanitizer, any kind of wipes. So if you are using a controller after everybody else, as a common courtesy, you'd wipe it down for the next person, or you'd go up to the booth and you'd wipe the controller before you use it, purely because the amount of crap that people have on their hands, because either they don't wash after having a piss, or they're just handling unnoticed, that they're touching banisters and things like that everybody's had their hands on. So you don't want to like give yourself any germs or whatever, so you're advised to take all this hand sanitizer and stuff. Imagine that multiplied by 1,000 because you're breathing it as well.
I know, yeah, it's horrible. And you know, like these kind of things, like bacteria and stuff replicates quickly in like heated environments, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And sort of like hot, moist environments. It sounds horrible to say, but like a lot big crowded rooms like that, it's just like a perfect breeding ground. So
that's it. Enix just said there, saw a lad fondle his bits and giving a scratch, then touching the controller. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just someone like pulling the boxes out their ass and then touching the controller, or going to shake your hand, and then you're going to eat your food or having a drink.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's those places are. Land flu is a real thing. So, and then obviously people think of, oh, that's like anywhere. It's like you're going into a convention center with like 100,000 people. Just put a bit of deodorant on, or the roller stick if you're allergic to aerosol. It's not hard, because you're gonna get quarantined at the back of the room by people. Believe me.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's one of them things. You can't. Is it being overcautious? Maybe. Do they need to make sure that people's lives are safe? Then that's probably the best thing to be able to do.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I think the reason I say potentially overcautious is just because, in theory, I mean, I think, quote me if I'm wrong here, but I have a feeling that like the acceleration of this virus has started slowing down a little bit relative to maybe like a week or so ago. I might be wrong there, but I feel like in theory most people who have it should know they have it, and obviously
Yeah.
they won't go to any sort of public event. But you can never be sure. All it takes is like one person, doesn't it,
Yeah.
who's just got it and then goes, and then so yeah.
Well, I heard
It's
on the
always
radio that there was Brits on a. I mean, I'm probably still getting this wrong because I only heard it once when I was driving in yesterday. But there was Brits on a ship outside of Tokyo. Now, my geography is terrible, but I don't even know if they have a harbour or anything like that. I have absolutely no idea. But basically, there was just like 1,000 people quarantined on this boat, and the Brits have been there for 2 or 3 weeks, and they're finally getting flown back today after going through rigorous inspections and things like that to make sure that when they do fly them back over, they're not just going to get. I think it's Brighton that has a quarantine hospital at the moment. It's like the only one that's in Britain. So anyone who potentially has it has to get shipped there, get seen over, stay there for 2 weeks, and then they're allowed back out again.
Brighton, commiserations. No, actually, it's actually quite a nice place, Brighton. But yeah, it's a good thing that I mean, this is like how it's like to deal with these problems in 2020, where communication is all great and all the countries work together in theory. It's a weird one because I was thinking this to myself the other day, like with the amount of travel that we do now, it must be that things have the potential to spread a lot easier than they used to, say, 100 years ago, and anything like that. But also our sort of like communication, our way of dealing with it is better as well. So
Yeah.
hopefully that more than matches it.
Yeah, it's not just that though as well, and it's not. I imagine it's spread in the air, so it may be attached to your clothes. Like they've stopped making it. Well, again, this is all rumors, but apparently they've stopped manufacturing the PlayStations and the Xboxes over in China at the moment for this reason, so that when they're not boxing it up, they're not boxing up the virus as well, so that when you open it, it's just like whoosh, it just hits you in the face as soon as you open the box. Eventually around Christmas time, what a Christmas present that'd be. But like I won't hazard to guess to how much comes from China that gets shipped around the world, but I imagine it's quite a high percentage either of manufactured goods or like clothing and stuff like that. So at the moment, I imagine the whole country's in shutdown.
Yeah, you'd have thought so. And I imagine that not all manufacturers in China are sort of listening probably quite how they should. But
well, there is a place where some of us get our football shirts from called DHgate, and I can guarantee that I am not ordering a football shirt from there for quite a while until I know the dust has settled, so to speak.
Yeah, good idea.
Spike has said, "I met Baby once, still have the cuties." Oh, cheers, babes. That's not like a positive thing to say. I'm just saying. And it said 9 people were infected. They kept they kept them. Sorry, it's just backwards. They kept them on the ship. Now 679 are infected after a week. That is mental. That is a mental stat. That just shows how fast it spreads, though, doesn't it? Like everyone's going to be in the same room at some point, whether or not it's at food time or they just sat on the top of the ship. I don't know what the ship is. Is it like the Princess ship where they do Caribbean cruises or whatever? Obviously they're not. If it's in Tokyo, they don't do the Caribbean cruise. But it's everyone's mixing. That shows how fast it spreads after a week. Phantom, good morning, son. It says pre-recorded podcast. Kappa. No, this is actually my setup at home. So Luke is in the ice cream studio, as you can see, with the correct tag underneath there, and I have 100% not butchered this graphic to include my name on there instead of Graham's. That I don't know who's done that.
This is how you know that it isn't pre-recorded.
Spike says, I wanted them to make Ghost Ship 2. This is not what I had in mind. Just like my pre-recorded gameplay. Oh, mate, yesterday, you know that the Fortnite servers went off. They went off for the new update yesterday. So Phantom had the very good idea to, when the servers went off, went onto YouTube, got like a clip of 20 minutes, say, and basically played that on his channel whilst he had a controller in his hand to make it look like he was playing the new update. So people was coming into the chat going, "Oh my god, how are you playing Fortnite? The servers are down." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know, mate. They just not turned it off for me." Going forward, so it is genius. There was a kid that did that years ago when the UFC was on. He was showing the UFC fight on his channel, and he had the pad in his hand like he was playing it, like he was playing the UFC game, but it wasn't. It was the live stream that he's just broadcasting to everyone.
That's great.
Apple, yeah, exactly. But that's how we should get views. You know what I mean? We just jip a few people. No, the Wilder and Fury fights on this weekend, mate, I can say that it's Fight Night champion or something. Try and get away with it that way.
Exactly, yeah.
Apple are in a predicament. No iPhones. Oh, I imagine. Yeah, okay, so they're all manufactured over there. I mean, it's not the end of the world, is it? Fucking iPhone's a bag of shit anyway. Enix says 9 infected when they reached the dock. Keeping people on ended up with 600. So, right, okay, cool. Right, thank you very much for the facts. Again, if we do say anything wrong or you think that you don't agree with us, then do feel free to let us know. That is the benefit of you watching this live. You can go into the chat, give us your feedback. If we're wrong, you tell us. If we're right, congratulate us because, we like to be right. I do anyway. I know I'm wrong 90% of the time, so...
Well, it's all about making sure that we get called out on our bullshit, which is
exactly.
numerous and many.
You know what? This is a new video game news podcast. We can only read the news that's given to us, make our own assumptions whether or not it's bullshit, and if we're talking bullshit, then that's what we need you to step in and do.
Exactly. We're not coronavirus experts either.
Absolutely.
But you've got an extra little bit of info there from us.
So you're going to be reading this next one. Do you want to pick whichever one you want to do? And then I will obviously bring it up on screen.
I'll randomly. I'll just do it in order. Actually, I've got it up in the tab. So this one is the GameSpot one.
Okay.
With Fortnite, which I suppose is a nice.
Oh my god!
Bear with though. I'm just going to have a cough. Right. Okay. Talking of coronavirus. Right. Fortnite Deadpool skin coming in season 2. New challenges out now. By the way, this is by Gabe Gurwin. So, and the tagline is, will that heal factor play a role? Fry up some chimichangas and knock down that fourth wall because Deadpool is coming to Fortnite as part of the new Chapter 2, Season 2 update. The Merc with a mouth is the latest Marvel character to come to the game, though he will probably not be as devastating as Thanos. Deadpool was revealed in the game's Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 2 Battle Pass trailer, popping onto the screen in his usual goofy fashion. He's also seen bathing in a pile of V-Bucks. The Battle Pass will cost 950 V-Bucks, or about $9.50. Fully leveling up the Battle Pass will earn you a total of 1,500 V-Bucks, which should more than cover the cost of Season 3's Battle Pass. So the latest update also added weekly challenges from Deadpool, including one to find a letter he sent to Epic Games. It's fitting with the character's self-aware persona, as he has routinely referenced when he was in a comic book or a movie before. It's unclear how many challenges will need to be completed to unlock the Deadpool skin. Deadpool is a skin rather than a specific character event like with Thanos, so it's entirely cosmetic. However, it definitely makes us a little more likely to crack stupid jokes and get a little bolder in Battle Royale mode. As noted above, you can't, which is a graphic by the way, which maybe we can show you. As noted above, you can't unlock the skin yet, as it requires completely weekly challenges over the course of the Battle Pass. But the wait will likely come with more themed challenges that have Deadpool inserting himself further into the game. In January, Ryan Reynolds confirmed that Deadpool 3 is in the works at Marvel Studios. The previous 2 movies were produced before Disney acquired 20th Century Fox, which has been responsible for Deadpool and X-Men films previously. Fortnite V-Bucks at Best Buy. Is this just like some sort of
I think that's an advert at the bottom.
Yeah. But yeah, there we have it. So Deadpool appearing in Fortnite, and when did it say Deadpool 3's come out? It didn't actually say it.
No, it just said that it started recording in January.
Because it's interesting. You'd have thought that they would correlate it a bit more, obviously. So it was like, a few weeks before Deadpool came out or whatever.
Yeah. You mean like they did with Birds of Prey and Star Wars?
Yeah. Just a bit more sort of like obviously to do with and Thanos as well, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, the beauty of this is that this Deadpool, apparently you unlock him by doing weekly challenges, which is great because that gives an incentive for the people who enjoy playing Fortnite, like myself at the moment, to go in and do the weekly challenges to potentially unlock him after a while, rather than hiding him behind a paywall like Kylo Ren was, for instance, and obviously Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn character for Birds of Prey, which has recently been in the game. So this gives you a nice little incentive to be able to go and do your weekly challenges, which me and Graham pretty much finished all the challenges that there was to finish in season 1. So the fact, I don't know how long this is going to be, like how many weeks you have to actually do the challenge for to be able to unlock him. But it is definitely a skin that I would absolutely love to. I mean, the one that I've got at the moment was Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. It's like a B-Tech version of him. So I did have a solid old Snake. Was that Naked? No, that's not Naked Snake, is it?
No, it is like Old Snake, or just I suppose he's just technically Solid Snake,
but old. Yeah. So I had him, and then obviously I had Sub-Zero as well. But Deadpool is definitely a one that I'd like to use. Now the weird thing is, was you on the show with me on Tuesday? I think it was when we shown the Fortnite stuff, when we had King Midas.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Now this is Midas here on the right hand side. Is gold there. Where the hell have there been data mining to try and get the skull version of him?
Yeah, I don't get that because he looks well different in what we looked at earlier.
Yeah, he's got skin and hair for a start.
Yeah.
There's one bit of the trailer where he actually looks pretty boss. Now I'd probably end up using that skin because he looks pretty sick, to be fair. Because he's got gold hands, but he hasn't got. He's just got normal skin on his face. He's got no eye. He's got no pupils. And a waistcoat.
Yeah, I went on Fortnite yesterday lunchtime and went through the battle pass to him, and you can kind of change his appearance in the sense of, you know how it's got two, it's sort of like the goodies and the baddies, isn't it? And that's not like the right terminology. You can choose like what look they have, and either of those, when you changed to either of those, he kind of went fully gold, so it wasn't just like part of him wasn't like skin, as it were.
Yeah.
But he still looked well different than what we saw earlier. He wasn't like a skeleton or anything. So I don't know how that comes into play at all.
Either way, I think the skins that are available are as standard in this trailer look okay. The Maya one's a bit weird because it says signature style over 3.8 million. Now there is actually a place within this bunker, shall we say, where you can go up and every single day you potentially get a new bit of clothing, but that seems like a lot of old ass. Like, I like to unlock stuff as I go along the battle pass, not spend every single day going into this bunker to give her a new hat or a new t-shirt or a new set of gloves or something like that. I'm playing the Division at the moment, and the amount of times that I'm looting something and I find a new pair of aviators or a new t-shirt, a new pair of pants, something like that, I'm not fannying about with it. If it gives me better damage and things like that, then I'll put them on, but they don't. They're only cosmetic. What's the point?
You know what? I don't know actually. I think I've got a bit of a different opinion on that. I think I did quite enjoy the customization option, just in the sense of, I mean, I'm not Mr. I will spend money on getting all the skins and stuff at all. Like, it doesn't, like, cosmetics doesn't bother me to that extent. But I quite like the idea of this character that is so customizable that, because it's always been the case, right, in Fortnite, that, okay, you've got a skin, but millions of other people have that same look, and you know, there's every chance when you're in a game you'll see like 5 other people that look exactly like you. But I quite like the idea of potentially having the skin that maybe no one else has. And I don't know, it's just like an extra little unlock that you happen to get. As long as obviously it's optional at the end of the day and you don't need to bother with it, then I think it's a nice little extra thing just to feel like you've achieved. Because I don't know, Fortnite always had that thing of it used to have that thing anyway, once you've sort of like won a game, it's like there wasn't too much else to aspire to in a weird way. But obviously they've been adding to the battle pass every year and doing more and more things, and now it's like constantly every match you can like level up, unlock all sorts of stuff. I think it's decent. Really.
Is it that's cool? I like the achievable ones where they're giving you in the battle pass and it'll say, I don't know, kill 5 people while you've got 100 health. They're all achievable stuff. Do you know what I mean? And that's what me and Graham pretty much worked our way through to get to the level 100. Now each time they'll have small bits like, what was it? It was like toxic waste or something like that, and you had to go to Slurpee, and it'll give you 10 things to do at Slurpee. That stuff, it just keeps it interesting. Every time you drop, you're like, oh, we're dropping closer to this, let's go and do that. Or we need to go and collect Fortnite, like on Tony Hawk's where you had to collect Skate. We need to go and find the F, the O, the R, the T. Just move around the map and be able to do that. It just adds a lot of longevity. I probably played about 80 hours of Fortnite now, trying to complete that first battle pass, and I would never ever have said to even 1 year ago that that would be the case. Obviously, it was the Star Wars stuff that brought me back. It brought Graham back. We was all playing it in the office at one point because we wanted to rip people up with that lightsaber. So. With this new battle pass, it looks good. Like the whole menu layout and everything has all been completely changed, and I'm looking forward to getting back into it. It is going to take a lot for me to be able to get back into it with me playing the Division at the moment, and also Graham lent me Jedi Fallen Order, so I need to work my way through that, which I don't see being a problem at all.
Nice.
So yeah, this is definitely a game that I want to get back into. I can spend an hour here or there being able to complete off and check through some of the challenges. The one thing that I've got about this though that I'm not too sure is when we got into Fortnite last time, we had a lot to do. Now I don't know whether or not that's because there was adding stuff week by week, and then we got to a point where we had 10 weeks worth of content. Now I'm starting from the beginning of season 2. Are they going to add stuff week by week, or is it all there for me to be able to do? I haven't looked through enough of the battle pass to be able to work that one out, but I hope that it's all left for me to be able to do now, and I don't have to play for 3 days, complete it all, and then not play it for 4, then get back into it for 3 days, that kind of way.
Yeah. I've not really looked at the mission side or objective side of it when I went on yesterday. But we're kind of talking about that sort of screen that you enter in with this season, and it's sort of like it's like a mission sort of room or something.
Command center.
Command center, yeah, that's the one.
But there is like on the screen here now.
Yeah, it's like there is one of the things you can click on is like a dedicated thing where you just look at your missions and stuff. I would imagine there must be quite a lot there.
Yeah. So this bit here, and then you go through up here is where you can change all of Maya's stuff, and then this screen here says coming soon, and I can't remember what this does here. Well, and there's something up here as well, like agents.
There's a little like vent or something towards the top right that I clicked on, and it kind of you kind of go through it into this extra sort of room that's got a computer in it.
Okay.
The thing is, like, because I don't have the battle pass, I'm probably not going to get it. Everything's just telling me as soon as I click on it to just get the battle pass, obviously. But I don't know whether that computer like has anything interesting on. It's just like the level of polish though it just gets better every time, and I do think it looks like it's a nice looking game now. I don't think I would necessarily have said that when it came out necessarily. It was a bit bog standard, but there's just like a lot of polish on now, even though the aesthetic style hasn't changed that much. It's just, it looks nice.
Yeah. Again, it's something that I never thought I would get into, but I paid £7 for the battle pass in early November last year, and I more than got my 7. I mean, I didn't have to buy the battle pass this season because I got through to level 100 last time. For getting to level 100, you get 1,500 V-Bucks, and it's only, how much was it for this? 950. Yeah, it was 950 V-Bucks, so I didn't have to pay for it. If I get to level 100 again, I won't have to pay for it next time. So me paying £7 once potentially in the entirety of Fortnite will get me the game for free. It's really weird.
True, yeah. I don't know. I did actually play a couple of matches yesterday on my PC.
How did that go?
And it was actually all right. I kind of got 4th and 2nd in 2 solo games.
That's not bad.
But it's annoying. Yeah, I mean it's like good, but obviously it's annoying when you get to 2nd to not be 1st. But and I never gave myself a chance as well. I just sort of like, there's this guy who's like building a big tower, so I thought, I'll run in and like try and like, because it was very precariously built. It was like just built on like 1 or 2 ramps. I thought I'll try and chop it down or whatever with a pickaxe. But I'm so shite at the PC version still. I was still trying to do that one. He like jumped down, started shooting at me, and I was like, "How do I get my gun back out?" because it's like F to like put your pickaxe out, and then the only way I know how to easily get the guns back in your hand again is like the number keys, which sounds easy, but like the way. It's just like awkward, like with your fingers when you've got like your fingers over the WADS or buttons to like in the spur of the moment to reach up to like the numbers. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Well, so I'm still struggling with that myself when I'm playing on the Division. Like I've got one of the mouses that I've got, the buttons at the side. So I've got a few things attributed to that, but obviously on Fortnite you have your pickaxe and then your 5 items or weapons across the bottom. So I used to use scroll to be able to go through my weapons, but if you're in a rush, you are definitely scrolling past the one weapon that you want to get out.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, that's the other way I could do it, but it just...
It's just how it
Anyway,
is.
so it's a bit of a mess. But fourth and second is all right, I suppose, on it.
You take that. I mean, I'm 1 game, 1 win at the moment, so I'm the champion of the world. I am playing on Nintendo Switch, which apparently has aim support. I'm not going to agree to that because the people that I was playing against, at least in the last 10 yesterday, were not bots. I got 11 kills. I can guarantee 7 of them was bots. But the people that I was coming up to in the last 10 was definitely not bots. They was hardcore, shall we say. Morning, Pirate. Hello. Thank you very much for the host.
Hello.
Very much appreciate that, pal. You're late, by the way. 47 minutes late. It's out of order.
No, it's not on that.
So we've done 2 news stories so far. We've got 2 more left. And what would this show be without a little bit of controversy and a certain video game platform that promised the world but has yet to deliver? That, my friends, yep, you guessed it. It's Google Stadia. This has been written on VG247 by Stephany at Nunneley, and it was written yesterday at 7:30, which is obviously why we didn't feature it yesterday. But we'll carry on with the article. In case you were wondering what happens to your free games and saves once your free trial of Stadia Pro is up, Google has now provided an answer. Once you cancel your subscription to Stadia Pro, you obviously lose access to those games. However, according to Google, that doesn't mean that you lose the progress earned in those games. This was revealed at an FAQ posted by the company in relation to the free trial of Stadia Pro coming to its close. Thanks, Newwin. Neowin? Is it? Neowin? Should you one day decide to re-up, you will regain access to your previously claimed games, as well as retain your progress for those games. Additionally, if you decide to buy one of your previous games, claimed Stadia Pro games, a la carte in the Stadia store, you will regain access to all of your save data and progress, reads the post. In other words, your save progress is safe and you'll be able to reclaim the free games offered through the service. Whilst all of this seems obvious, since everything is stored in the cloud, it's nice to have clarification. It's about time you clarify on something. If you decide not to continue with premium membership, you will revert to the free version, which does not feature the ability to play games in 4K with HDR and 5.1 surround sound. Can they do that now? The premium service runs you $9.99 per month, or the regional equivalent. So, it's a little bit of good news.
Yeah. Again, a bit like this article says, kind of relatively obvious. I mean, I would have been pissed off if I'd bought a load of games and then my subscription ended and then I just lost all that save data. That would be horrible. So, I mean, it's reassuring to hear it, but I think expected as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know this happens with games on PlayStation. If you don't have PlayStation Plus and it's the free games, can you still have access to them free games? I can't remember.
I don't. Good question. No, I think you can. I'm not sure because once you add them to your library, I don't think there's really any differentiation between whether they're sort of just games you downloaded for free outside of PS. Well, not for free, just in general outside of PS Plus or what.
I'm sure on the Vita. Again, if anybody's in here that ever played a Vita, if there was games that was given to you, but you couldn't, if you wasn't connected or have PlayStation Plus, the licensing wouldn't work. And I can't remember under what stipulation that was, whether or not it was the free games that they give you, or it was like, I can't remember.
Yeah, I always assumed. The thing is, I've never actually once I've got PSN, I've just always had it. So I've never really tried opening a game I got from PS Plus when I'm not on it. So yeah, anyone who knows, let us know.
Interesting. Pirate asked what the first 2 news stories was. So the first one was that Oculus, Facebook Gaming, and PlayStation will not be heading to GDC this year. They have unfortunately pulled out over the COVID-19, aka the coronavirus concerns. They've now pulled out. It wasn't due to be until March time, with obviously PAX East taking place next week. GDC was taking place in March. They have now all 3 of the big hitters have pulled out so far, and that Deadpool is going to be in Fortnite, as we've seen from the adverts, and he will potentially be an unlockable character by completing your weekly tasks as you go through every time they release one. The third one is obviously now you're in here about the Stadia Pro trial. Again, we've said it a few times. We've got to call them out for the shit that they do, but we also got to give them props for the credit when credit's due. And this is a good move, and they're letting people know straight out. I mean, they've left people in the dark quite a lot of times in regards to what the service is, how they're going to get games. They've not had, they didn't have a game or an update for, was it 2.5 months nearly. So the fact
Yeah.
that they now are getting a little bit of drip feed information, albeit quite obvious ones, at least there's still a very small stream of conversation taking place, which only benefits everybody else who's actually willing to or paid £120 to get this in their hands initially.
Yeah, exactly. I think that these little bits of extra news are good. I think that they're going to have to do something big in the next, like soon-ish,
Yeah,
like E3 or some equivalent level of big announcements eventually, because it's great for people who maybe already have the service to get these qualifications, or I just can't really imagine that things like this or things like the sort of like the games that we mentioned like last
yeah.
week or whatever, those small sort of time games, they're not going to like bring people back in, are they?
No, they're
Not
not.
gonna You're not
No.
going to entice people
What? So
onto
you're
the
telling me that
platform.
stacks on stacks on stacks is not going to bring in millions of people to your
I
service?
mean, I love the name, but it's not going to be enough to give them my stacks and stacks and stacks of cash.
Nice
So
work.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like they need to have
Yeah,
something else in the
they need
back.
to.
It's weird, like they can't need a USP, even though
Yes.
Google Stadia is based on the USP. It's based on this idea of being unique in the way it's set up, but it still needs something more, because really the actual games and stuff are just the same but not working as well. So yeah.
Interesting. So what we're essentially saying is they need to sign up with a company to potentially bring an exclusive to their platform, albeit it may
Yeah.
run shit, albeit you may not be able to play it on your Huawei or HTC mobile phone because they're only running with 3. Or if you've got an iPhone or iOS, you can't play it on that either. You can't give your friend a friend code if that's still not a thing. Sorry, I haven't kept up with that bit. I apologise, all you Google Stadia users, if I have insulted you, but the product still isn't up to scratch. Don't blame anyone for not paying any attention. Again, credit where credit's due. They're doing things. They're dripping through the most obvious information that they should already have, and they're only releasing this information now because your subscription, what you was promised to have 1,000,001 things, is now about to expire, and they want you to carry on with that subscription for $10 a month.
Yeah.
So count yourself lucky that your subscription is finishing, because it's definitely not worth your money at the moment. Go over and pay for something else instead. Buy Netflix. I don't know. Get an XCloud, because that works on iOS. If you're in it, you can use XCloud on Android as well if you're allowed to get in. GeForce Now. Fair enough, Activision have pulled themselves out of that and a few other people as well, but it still works. You know what I mean? And that's free to use.
Yeah, precisely. You can get like Xbox Pass for PC, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
and like, so I don't know, something else like Origin or something, like for like the same amount of money, and it's going to give you plenty of games that actually work if you have a
Yeah.
PC, for instance.
If you've got a PC, a gaming PC, and you don't have Game Pass, then there's something that I want Games Pass. However, my PC is a gaming PC and it can run games at a superb rate in very high graphics, whatever else. However, for whatever reason, I can't open the Xbox app on my PC. It wants me to format my PC to be able to install it. There's obviously something wrong with the hardware somewhere for me to be able to do that, and I'll have to look at it at some point because I'm missing out on some cracking games because my PC, he's just being stupid. He won't. It's being.
Yeah, it's a shame that I just logged on it again yesterday and saw that Final Fantasy 15's on there.
Oh, hello.
And it's like the Royal Edition or whatever, which is the one that was for the PC. So I've downloaded that. I left it overnight to download. I'm probably going
Yes.
to play that over the weekend because it is one that I've been wanting to try out for a while.
Dead right.
And I think it will look very pretty on the PC. So yeah.
Well, you absolutely need to be logging in on this Ice Cream Uploads channel and be streaming this stuff so I can watch people play this stuff because I like to watch people play games anyway. Obviously, that's why we're on Twitch. I personally spend my free time rather than watching stuff on TV. If it's not a drama with Mrs. Bibbit, I'll be up here either watching football or watching people play video games. So if it's games that I'm super interested in and it's my friends that are playing these games as well, then absolutely I want to be able to do that. So you, my friend, need to take this OBS and get it stuck in at home.
Yeah, sounds good.
But anyway, Ad says Jim Lurker over here. Good morning, my friend. Hello to you, sir. You've got one more news article left.
Let's see, where are we then? So we're moving on to it now.
We most certainly can.
I will read this one.
Yeah.
So, oh god, it's my pre-reading cough again. Still there, still tickling. Okay, this is on Polygon, and it is by Owen S. Good. It's a good name.
Very good name.
Free FIFA 20 update brings South America's top tournament to the game. So, right, Copa. I can't say this, by the way. Copa Libertadores, Copa Suda. Pippi, you know your football better than me. Can you say this word?
This is why I wanted you to read it, because I struggled for this for years. Copa Libertadores and Copa Sudamericana.
Lovely. And CONMEBOL with Copa. You've definitely done it just to troll me.
Graham usually does this to me, so I'm just passing on the favourite.
Makes 13 for series debuts. Oh god. I'm hereby just going to refer to them as like Liber Suda.
Yeah.
Right. South America's Premier Club Football Championship, Copa Liber, makes its debut in EA Sports FIFA series with a free update on March 3rd. It's part of the franchise's push into South America, giving the continent's clubs and leagues a larger presence within the game. Copa Liber, also called CONMEBOL for South American Football Federation, will be joined in FIFA's career mode by the Copa Suda, the continent's second most prestigious club championship. Think of UEFA's Champions League and Europa League. Both tournaments have appeared in Konami's Pro Evolution Soccer series in the past. That they have. The FIFA series has also had UEFA and Champions League licensing for the past 2 years, following the end of a 10-year exclusive pact between that federation and Konami. It looks like I'm going to try this one. CONMEBOL's tournament will be getting similar treatment. Copa Liber will have its own 32-club tournament mode, in which players may take familiar names like Argentina's CA Independiente, 7 Copa Liber titles, Boca Juniors and River Plate, Uruguay's Peñarol, and Brazil's Flamengo and Palmeiras. Christ, these words.
This is great.
FIFA 20's career mode will find Copa Liber alongside Copa Suda and the CONMEBOL Recopa, a home and home series between the winners of both tournaments as playable fixtures. EA Sports said there would also be Copa Liber items coming to FIFA 20's Ultimate Team. Copa Liber 2020 began on January 21st with qualifying stages, the third of which will begin on February 26th. That will determine the last 4 teams to make group stage play, which starts in mid-March. Flamengo, Palmeiras, Peñarol, River Plate, Grêmio, Nacional, Olympia, and Boca Juniors. The top draws in each group. The final is scheduled for November 21st at the Maracana in Rio de Janeiro. There we go.
God, that was amazing.
Wow. I mean, football experts may know those words. I do not, and trying to work them out. Apart from the few, obviously, like Flamingo. But
that proper tickle anyway. That was great. So yes, I'm just gonna go back through the chat briefly because apparently we both got the first one wrong. I don't think I said the first one wrong. The Copa Libertadores. Copa Libertadores. I'm fairly certain that's how you say it, but my Mancunian twang, slang, and accent probably absolutely butchers the way that that's meant to be said.
Sudamericana.
It says there you go right now.
Hey, there we are.
PES needs to get their fingers out and losing more licenses. I disagree wholeheartedly. If you have been playing PES, and this isn't an ego trip for me. If you've been playing PES for as long as I have, then the licenses mean jack shit. There is 1,000,001 communities out there that do, I don't want to say a better job, but they are creating phenomenal kits not only for the present. They are also creating their own fantasy kits as well as kits from the past. Licenses mean jack shit in this kind of thing. You have competitions that have been made within the game as well, so you're able to play in these places. You're able to import, if you have got the technology to be able to do so, stadiums into the game. Let FIFA take all these licenses as a monopoly. That's fine. As long as they're not taking the actual leagues and we're still able to play in the leagues, that is completely fine by me. Name them whatever you want if you want. We was playing with Roberto Larcos not that long ago, if you don't remember. We was playing with Giggles and Van Nistelrooy and things like that. So having these naming conventions means absolutely nothing for people who have played this game for as long as time began, back in ISS days, on the likes of the SNES and the Mega Drive. So FIFA can have all these, they can spend all the money they want, they can monopolise it all they want, but however, people thought that just because we're losing the licenses, we will not get agents. However, in the last 2 years, we've had Manchester City agents. They never have been licensed in this game. We've got Liverpool agents this year, who we lost the license last year to EA, and we've taken Juve and put them into the game. FIFA don't even have Juve in their game. They're called Piemonte or whatever they're called. So it swings and roundabouts. I would rather take playable leagues in Pro Evo than naming conventions. So crack on with it, FIFA. That's by the by for me personally.
Yeah, I kind of feel mainly the same. Like you say, you can kind of use updates and stuff now to get all those team names. I'd imagine like if it didn't have player names, which obviously it doesn't in some cases, but that would be a little bit more irritating, just because it's still nice to try and approximately work out.
Oh yeah, of course.
What to correspond to the real team, or whatever. But I'm not super. It's nice whenever they can get team licenses, but if it's between that and spending fundings on just other areas, then maybe quite a lot of people prefer the other areas option. But,
well, I would arguably say that the modded Master League, which I've been streaming, is arguably better than any other FIFA career mode or whatever it is, purely based on the fact that I've got all the transitions, I've got pretty much all the stadiums in England available in the top flight and in the championship. I've got all the ad boards, I've got the transitions, I've got scoreboards, I've got overlays, I've literally got the lot. So arguably that's without any licenses within the game. People of the communities have made this, and I've been able to import it into my game. So that for me is a prime way of playing. Fair enough if FIFA want to go in and take all the naming conventions for everything, which there is very little now that is available in the market, which is probably why another publisher of games or developers will not touch another football game, like the likes of THQ or 2K or whoever it may be that want to make a football game. Really don't have the option to anymore, because it'll cost them too much money to want to be able to market the game as this is the Premier League game. Many years ago, Konami had the MLS license and made MLS Extra Time, which again for the GameCube was a phenomenal game. If you haven't played that game and you liked the old engine that the Pro Evo was on, Jesus Christ, I'm dying.
Got my cough through the microphone. I knew this would happen.
If you haven't played MLS Extra, basically go and play that if you liked the old engines. But yeah, licenses for me mean absolutely nothing as long as I can still play in the leagues. If the players look like them as well, that's also great, especially if you are playing a Master League. My club stuff, not really asked if they look like them. Do you know what I mean? You very rarely see the players. You see them when they celebrate, really.
I know what you mean. I quite like... even on FIFA as well, actually, because even on FIFA, like in sort of not Master League, a career mode, a manager career mode, you still end up obviously encountering players that aren't real or whatever, don't you? You end up sort of like having a youth academy or whatever, or buying these sort of free agents that aren't real. I think it's actually I quite enjoy raising players that aren't real and kind of creating. It kind of creates your own little narrative.
Absolutely.
Alternative universe, obviously it's all cool to have like the real players in there too, but it's the same with PES. Like I've never sort of not enjoyed Master League because in fact I always start with the sort of classic, what's it called, it's like the classic setup or whatever, where you've got sort of like Castle Dine or whatever he's called, and all those kind of
Minandinho, legend.
And all those guys. I always enjoyed that. It's kind of more creating your own story, isn't it?
I see. I do agree with ads saying that they need a better regen system. It seems like we're just using the same regens every single year. Not only that, but you get 2 or 3 years into your Master League, you're getting regens like Peter Crouch I had many years ago. I had like a young Del Piero, young Peter Crouch, young Robin, young Pirlo, and things like that in my Master League. Like 17-year-old and absolute wonder kids. Like, if we just need some more generic ones. If we're using like a generic Master League team, like if you are a long-standing Master League player playing a Master League with the original cast is where you want to go. There's people like Shales who still create the option file with the likes of Castolo and Espimas and Minandinho and all them guys that are available in there, which is for me the prime way to be able to play. And that's not, again, not being an elitist, but I just like the nostalgia. There's a reason why I'm still playing PES 2 now. Like whenever I've got the opportunity, I'm playing PES 2 because it's my favourite football game ever. But yeah, if you got the opportunity to be able to do it, the regens do need work. It's just they're almost as bad as the ones that you get in Football Manager, where they're just like, I think it was Rich Lee posted a picture of one of his players, and they've got a completely blue face. Like the regens are just all over the gaff. Now I have seen that Pirate has sent me a message with a voice note, and I'm guessing it's to do with Apex not making the list of news for today. No, it didn't. No Apex is in the news today, unfortunately for you. Maybe on Monday, who knows? But yeah, it's interesting. I like the fact that you're still playing career mode, mate, because it is a dying breed of people playing Master Leagues and career modes. There's just not many people are playing, which is probably why we haven't had any kind of significant push forward in what we're getting with Master League. Fair enough, we've got a load of new cutscenes, new menu lookish stuff, but the feel of the game still doesn't feel like we've got, like they've taken. I was playing 2014 and 13 not long ago, but in their Master League where you can go into your boardroom and they'll have the players on the board and you can say, right, they like to feed in from the left hand side, so make sure that you're covering Ronaldo as he likes to bomb on, that kind of thing. That just doesn't exist in the game at the moment. So ideally we'd like to see that back in at some point, but I do like the fact that other people like yourself are still playing these game modes, because of eventually when people stop playing them and they can see the percentages that people are playing, don't forget, then we eventually aren't going to get any offline game modes.
No, I know, and you know the cynical reality is that they don't really make money off these kind of modes. Both FIFA and PES. But if there were a way of, I'm not, I'm not encouraging them really to sort of try and monetize it, but I don't know if there was some optional thing that it could mean that people could still play it and not pay anything, but also they felt it was a moneymaker enough to put in the energy to develop it a bit more. Maybe there's some sort of middle ground there. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't. Go on. Sorry.
I was only going to say actually. Did it used to be the case in PES? Bear in mind, I'm a bit new, quite a lot newer to it relative to how yourself. But wasn't there a bit of an online Master League mode or something like that?
Yes, there was. It was before My Club, so they had Master League Online, which was pretty much like what My Club is now, apart from you started with your base team, and then it was really weird. It was a dynamic system. So, for instance, in fact, I'm fairly certain I've still got my old Master League Online videos on my YouTube channel from when I was back doing YouTube in like 2012, 13 or 14, whenever it was. Anyway, it was a weird dynamic because you would have your starting players, and then if you wanted to buy a player, it would their price would increase depending on how many people had that player. So if you managed to absolutely smash your way through Master League Online, like you was able to just play game after game after game, win, and you had a shitload of money, you could go and buy Ronaldo. Other people would then go and buy Ronaldo, and his price would increase. It was a really weird dynamic, which was cool at the time. But if you wanted a particular player, it would force you to go and buy these gems, essentially, which was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think there's like an element of that maybe they could bring back. And,
I would love that. For me, My Club is just an Ultimate Team clone, pretty much. And the players are a lot easier to achieve, and I will still to this day never understand why people get pissed off that they're fair enough that if they're hidden behind coin agents, that's completely fine. However, the likelihood of you getting these players is so much more than getting them on FIFA. Like Connor was saying yesterday, he's packed Messi once in 8 years of playing Ultimate Team. I've had Messi every single year since my club's come out. Like, I can have a stacked team if I wanted to. I could pay £50 for the game, put 30 quid in, and I'd be set for the rest of the year playing with these prime players. And for me personally, I like the grind. I like to be able to have the players based on how well I'm playing in the game. So if I'm winning, I'm getting coins. I'm getting GP. I'm able to go out. I'm able to spin and see what I get off the back of that. But as a person who tends to play with 2 and 3 star players anyway, getting the best players is irrelevant to me. But I can understand why people get frustrated with it. And that's not me calling them out about it. Fair enough. If they're hidden behind a paywall, it is a bit crud. But if you want the players, you've got to pay for them, essentially.
That's the way it is. I mean, like you say, the comparisons to FIFA are always going to be made, and when you do that, Pez comes up on top in terms of getting the best players, spending the least amount of money to do it. So
exactly, the fraction of cost for you to be able to get the prime players compared to what they are in FIFA, mate, you have to remortgage your house to try and get prime Ronaldo or blue Ronaldo or whatever it is. Eric says, my club is so much better. Played FIFA again, just binned it. Ads says, my FIFA disc is at Celtic Park toilets. He was also stating that he loved Master League Online. Doombeer, Van der Merch was OP. Wagner loved 99 pace. I had a player, I'm sure he was a striker, he was called Sammy. He was a little lad, but he was rapid. Like, he would just take on and do anybody. You put the ball a couple of yards in front of him, he's running onto it, he's slapping that ball in the back of the net every single time. But I'd love to be able to have that kind of Master League Online again, where you the only thing that you can get, the only players you can get are the ones that you're willing to grind for, shall we say? Because that would be great. Pirate says, yeah, to me it's not about getting the best players, but about everyone having the same opportunity to get them. I fully agree with that. There needs to be other choices to get star players. If they could, right, okay. I know this is going to turn into a massive Pez debate, but do you remember how much people used to farm? How is that a level playing field? Like, people used to be able to sit there for 14 hours a day and just farm players by kicking the ball back to the goalkeeper, waiting for half-time. Score a goal, kick the ball back to the goalkeeper, and sit there and just do the same thing for 14 hours a day. How is someone who has a job able to do that? That's me compared to someone who hasn't got a job. That was never fair. Like, fair enough, you are putting the time in to be able to do that, but that is not a level playing field, is it? Being able to go into these competitions and farm 400,000 GP to be able to spend and spin. I've always hated the farming element of things. I will not begrudge people doing it. I just hate the fact that that's classed as being fair. It's not fair, is it? You've found an exploit in the system, and you're able to grind 400,000 GP. That's not fair. That's just using an exploit to your advantage.
That type of farming, I think, is crap, and should obviously have been like eliminated from the game the minute it started happening in some way, although easier said than done. You've got to, it's like with all video games, I understand the idea of putting in time to get rewards. That's fine. I mean, that's what games are about, but you've got to do it properly.
Well, what they should have done is taken the league format like they had last year rather than the points that they had this year. Have achievable awards. So if they're saying you're starting off in Division 12, if you won Division 12, you'd get 25,000 GP and 30 coins. If you won Division 11, you'd get 35,000 GP and 40 coins, and just expand it up. So when you got to Division 1 and you won it, you'd get 100,000 GP and 250 coins, and then you're able to go and do it. That would then make you play online more. It'd make achievable goals for you to be able to want to win Division 1, and then you're able to go and spend your winnings to be able to do it. I think that would have been the fairest way to do it, rather than doing the farming, which I don't think is in the game anymore. I haven't attempted it or seen anyone talking about it for a while, and D, being able to put money in to try and get these players. You are rewarded by winning, being good at the game, and playing it, essentially. And it says, you know what's not fair? My hairline. I'm not saying anything. If I speak, I'm in trouble. Pirate says, I understand that issue, but I feel there needs to be a slight combination of both. Having rewards available, ways to get coins other than buying them. If there was a way to get more coins, I would be happy. I fully agree, which is why I just went through that kind of little scenario there. It's stuff that I would essentially like to see in the game, because it rewards people playing the game. Essentially, publishers want you to play their game, and they also want you to be able to, if they can, try and get money out of you. So it's a very grey line in between. If they're able to benefit both sides of that, so if you wanted to speed the process up, you can buy them. But if you are a person that likes to be able to grind and spend as much time as the PES community do, let's face facts. There is streamers out there that stream this game for 100 hours a week, and there's people who play this game for 100 hours a week. Just because you're streaming it doesn't mean anything different to if you was playing it for 100 hours. It's still 100 hours. Whether or not you're any good at the game means that you are going to get higher rewards. That's my take on it. Are you okay there, mate?
Just dying. Oh yeah, I agree. No, I think I do agree that maybe there should be more ways to get some coins in the game. Like obviously you've got your login rewards, and then on that's pretty much it, isn't it? Well, you got your achievements, which are fine at the start.
Well, there's match day rewards as well for people being able to, if you win match day, if you get to the top of the leaderboard, you're playing a grand final, you can earn money, so you can earn coins and agents for your side of the bracket, whatever that may be. So there is taking part rewards. It is. I understand that people don't want coin-only agents, and I fully agree with that. I feel like there should be another way to do it. But there will never be a system in place where everybody benefits. And that's the same with every game, whether or not it's Call of Duty, whether or not it's FIFA. Any online game that involves anything like this, you will never, ever find common ground on it. And that's unfortunately where the place that we're at. Match day is only available to those who don't work. Again, I fully understand that. It starts at 3 o'clock, is it? Yeah, it's not great. But yeah, there's always going to be discrepancies across the board with absolutely every football game. It's just that for us, we have more people who play Pro Evolution in our chat, and then they do FIFA. So it's obviously going to affect those people more. But hopefully at some point we'll have somewhere down the line, and we'll have rewards for achievements. But we'll see. I don't know. I can't say anything more than that.
That's the hope. For me, like my club is, it's kind of like we're talking about how it's so much easier to get big players and pairs and stuff, which is the appeal for many people. But for me, it's just like I wish I could get excited about getting like just like a 80 rated player at the start when I set up my club. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it feels like that's fine. You should start at that kind of level and be like, oh, he's a good player to have my team at the start. But if you get someone like him, then you just, no matter where you are in the progress of my club, it's always a bad thing to get like an 80 rated player, really, unless he's like really good at sort of leveling up. But so anyway,
see, I'm Pirate keeps on going on about Apex. Now, personally, I think Apex is fucking trash. So I'd never particularly look out for news for it. But I'm trying to find something that's Apex Legend Kings Canyon start time season 4. Is that what you're asking me to look at? Because I have absolutely no idea what I'm looking for.
We do cover Apex sometimes.
Yeah, but it's when it's big things, not a season pass stuff. Do you know what I mean? That's fucking. Bores, snooze fest. Bigger news than that is PUBG will finally let PS4 players and Xbox players party up together. That's bigger news than Apex. Do you know what I mean? They are bringing back the original map for a short period of time.
That's cool.
I think I played Apex Legends probably twice with Precision and Degs. Just bringing you the news, Bibs. Yeah, I mean, when I'm talking about, I like to bring news that I have an opinion on, and the rest of the team too. So if I'm bringing something that I know nothing about, then it kind of defeats the point, because I'm just giving you news with no opinion. I'm just basically reading you the news. So if it's stuff that I have an understanding of or that I want to get to know more, then that's obviously something that I would bring. But me talking about it's like me talking about PUBG today. It kind of makes no sense, because fair enough, that's big news, and I don't need to have an understanding of PUBG to be able to tell you that PS4 and Xbox players are finally allowed to play with each other, because that is big news. That's cross-platform stuff. But me talking about Apex Legends when I have absolutely no idea who the characters are, what the lore is, and what the maps are, with me and Luke would just be sat like, is that good news? I'm just waiting for the chat to go, yeah, that's pretty cool actually.
If it's sort of like really detailed gameplay sort of news or or characters, like you say, anything like that, it would be a struggle for us to sort of cover. If it's like big Apex news, then
Yeah.
yeah, obviously. But if it's just like battle pass sort of, oh, you can get such an item now, which it can be used with
Yeah.
character X to use his move Y, it'll be like, what? It's that.
Yeah, like yesterday I mentioned something about PUBG, and then it was giving me like the weapon coverage, and I was like, what a day for Graham not to be here when that kind of news is dropping, because it just goes right over my head and it sounds boring. Do you know what I mean? I'm not giving you. I'm talking about Pez because we both have a passion for it, and we understand that the people who chances are listening to this both are passionate about Pez as well. But when it comes to games that we have, without being horrible, little to no interest or don't understand, then it becomes us talking about shit that doesn't mean anything. Like, it's just words. Like, we're reading the article to you. I've got nothing more to say about it. It's a really horrible thing and a really weird way of saying that kind of thing. But if I don't know the subject matter, then it just comes across as like I am clueless. Like, that is literally the only way I can put it. I am clueless when it comes to Apex Legends. I know you shoot a gun. When you die, you have a shield. Like, you wait to get wiped. So that's about as much as I know about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, obviously, still appreciate you dropping the news stories and keep it coming. We'll just necessarily obviously filter
Yeah.
sometimes, or based on who's talking that day and who knows the stuff.
Unfortunately, we can't be experts on everything, can we, mate? There isn't enough time in the day, and yeah, literally there is no time in the day to play absolutely everything. As much as I play a lot of shit games, I don't have time to play absolutely everything. Otherwise, I'd have completed Jedi Fallen Order by now.
Yeah, exactly.
But have you got anything else that you want to go through today?
No, not really. I don't think. I think that's everything from me.
It's definitely everything from me. So yes, guys, that is it for Friday's edition of this, and it's also it for the remainder of the week. We will not be doing any scoop news now, obviously, until Monday, because that is the start of our working week. We will back live at 10 a.m. on Monday. But if you do see any news, speaking of news, if you do see any news over the weekend about stuff, then do again feel free to tag Ice Cream Uploads. We've got Rubinho, which is your boy. Jeroen over on the other screen over there, Mr. Luke, who's been joining me several times this week, Graham_Day, and Conor O'Boyle 97 could be. Then that news will then come to us again. Give us everything. It may get filtered out if we have absolutely no opinion of it, or it's kind of irrelevant to us, as horrible that is. Do give it to us, because we will obviously give your opinion as well as ours if we've got one into the show as well. But until Monday, I will be live again this weekend, probably Saturday evening after the City match, and then definitely Sunday, as Mrs. Bibby is. She's leaving me for 11 days, so I'm going to be on my own. So what am I going to do with my time other than stream, Luke? What am I going to do with my time?
Exactly. You've got to do it for the people, do it for the ice cream fans.
Absolutely. So until this weekend at some point, and for the scoop, we will see you live at 10 a.m. on Monday. But until then, Luke, what have they got to do?
Well, they've got to stay frosty.
Bye, guys.